Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Monday, the 23rd of February 2026. Welcome to the show. It's Morning Brew on Politics Social. My name is Graham Hughes. Nice to have you with us. Who have we got in the chat this morning? Well, we've got L Butterfly Effect. We've got Martin Harrow. We've got Sarah Davis. We've got Diz. Hello, Diz. We've got Dark 4x4, Saz as well. We've got Saz in the chat. We've got Townsend, Liam Fairhurst. This is all kind of cool, and I'm on time. I'm on time for a change because the kids are on half term, so I have to drop them off in school today. Right, so welcome one, and welcome all to the chat, to the show. In fact, as well, if you want to join the chat, don't be a twat. Join the chat. That doesn't really work, does it? Don't be no, nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. It's too early in the morning to try and think of things that rhyme with chat that aren't twat. So I'll just say, don't be a twat. Join the chat by pressing the subscribe button. Look, the nice juicy subscribe button. You can click on that or tap on that if you're on a tablet or a phone or whatevs. So today we're going to be talking, unfortunately, a little bit about Nigel Farage's latest fucking outfit, his latest wizard wheeze, which is called RefUK. He used to be, he was a Green for a bit. He was a Tory. He was part of UKIP. There was another party that he was part of as well for a little while. And then he left UKIP because it was full of racists. And he doesn't mind racist because he's a bit racist himself, according to literally everyone he went to school with. But, people who are like openly racist, you got to be a bit sly about it. He knows how to be sly. He knows how to dog whistle, he knows how to do that. But when he's surrounded by people who don't know how to do it, then he gets cold feet. And that's why he left UKIP and then set up the Brexit party. He ran away. After the Brexit vote. Him and Boris Johnson, they heroically ran away and said, "Oh, we can't deal with this. We don't know what to do." And apparently, it would have been amazing. It would have been absolutely amazing Brexit if Nigel Farage had been allowed to do what he wanted to do, which apparently was to go to basically just nuke all of our trade agreements with everywhere in the world all at once. Cool. Yeah, let's go WTO. Remember that? Yeah. Don't hear that so much these days, do you? Funny that. Anyway, so after just devastating our country economically, he decided to create this Brexit party and tell the government how to do it right. And he famously stood down candidates against Tories so that Boris Johnson had a better run of it, easier run of it in 2019 to win the election because he liked Boris Johnson's flavour of Brexit. He thought he was the guy to get it done. And then when Boris Johnson literally did it with an 80-seat majority, even though these motherfuckers, they turn around and go, now they'll say, "Oh, we were stopped from doing what we wanted to do by the woke lefty liberal elite." No, you had a majority of 80 seats, 80. You could do whatever the fuck you wanted. You could do whatever you wanted. Didn't matter. You had 80-seat majority. Don't give me this bullshit about, "Oh, well, but if you had only been able to do it properly." Yeah, you could. You had an 80-seat majority. And you'd got rid of everyone in your party who was like mildly sensible. So whatever wingnutty version of Brexit you wanted. And I had a go the other day. I said, people who go on about communism being a great system, or people go on about anarchy being a great system, they're just as deluded as people who go, "Oh yeah, Brexit would have been great had it been done properly." Do you know what? There's another group to add into that mix. Fucking libertarians, or as I like to call it, anarchy for rich nepo babies. "Oh, you're a rich nepo baby. Oh, you're not very good at anything. Oh, what do you want? Oh, you want an anarchy. Oh, is that right? You want an anarchy. Oh, is that what Nanny suggested?" Before sending you off to that posh private prep school where obviously bad things happen to you because that's why you turned out the way you did. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry on one level, but on another level, like seriously, just because you had horrible things done to you in your posh private school doesn't mean you have to take it out on the rest of fucking society for the rest of time. There's actually been libertarian towns, villages set up. They last about 2 weeks. but they'll start arguing about who has to collect the shit. But yeah, libertarians, absolutely fucking deluded. But it would work if someone did it properly. It would work if someone... And that's the thing. That's the beauty with democracy. I'm not going to go off on one about democracy, but it's the best system for humans because humans are idiots. Right, most of us, we don't know what's going on most of the time because there's so much stuff going on most of the time. We make mistakes, but there's a bit of give in democracy. There's different flavours of democracy. You can have a Swiss-style referendum-led democracy. You can have a unicameral democracy with just a parliament. You can have a bicameral democracy with a lower house and upper house. You can have a constitutional monarchy democracy where you have a king or a queen and a royal family for some reason, and they're the head of state, but that's separate to the head of government. And at first glance, you think, why would you do that? And then you see what's happening over in America right now with that Trump geezer going, I'm now head of the judiciary as well, which he literally said yesterday. Oh my God. So he's now head of state, head of the government, head of the executive, head of the legislature, because they just do what they're told. They're very supine. And now he's saying he's the head of the judiciary as well. So yeah, different flavours of democracy. There's a bit of give in democracy, which the other systems don't allow for. One thing that I would like to see, though, is more investment in our democracy, in us, in the demos, in the people. Please, us, people, us. Hello, hi, how you doing? Can we have some investment, please? Thank you. That's what I want to see. We are the greatest natural resource that this island or these islands have to fucking offer. We just are. And our government just doesn't seem to realise that. I don't know. Successive governments don't seem to realise that. British people punch above their weight. And it doesn't matter what your background is. It really doesn't. I mean, obviously, if you went to private school, you can be an actor and stuff. But when you think of like art and music in particular, you got these subgenres of subgenres. It's really good stuff that's coming out of Britain. You just keep doing it. We're just a creative bunch. But and it doesn't matter if you're a 100th generation Brit, like there is one of them, or your family came across on the Windrush. You've the contribution to British culture come across from the Indian subcontinent. The contribution to this culture has been immense. But RefUK don't want that. Let's talk about what RefUK want. RefUK want to turn us into Trump's America. They're looking at Trump's America and go, they go like this, oh, fucking hell, have a bit of that, yep. 37-year-old mother of 3 shot in the face. yeah. Can we do a bit more of that? Oh, some guy shot in the back of the head for helping a woman off the floor. Oh, let's have some of that. Let's have some of that over here. So this is what they want. They want they're proposing to have a deportation agency modelled on ICE, modelled on immigration and customs enforcement. They want to knock on the door, show us your papers, or we're going to throw you out your house, take you away from your job, take you away from your family, throw you into a country where you've never been and you don't speak the language and you got nowhere to go, no job, nowhere to live. You don't know anyone because it's a foreign fucking country and you've lived in this country for 57 fucking years. This is what they want. And when you see Zia Yusuf, pick me, Zia. Zia, is that what you said? Oh, you were one of the good ones, yeah? Because you went to private school. You're one of the good ones. Okay, yeah. Do you know there were Jews in the 1930s who thought they were some of the good ones, yeah? They chummied up to Hitler, the rich industrialists. They chummied up to Hitler because they thought, well, he's not going to go after me. He's not going to take all my paintings. They want the capacity to detain 24,000 people at any one time. The current immigration detention capacity as of 2024 is roughly 2,500. So they want to make it almost 10 times that size and get us taxpayers to pay for this shit. And they want to deport up to 288,000 people a year with 5 deportation flights a day. Friends, this will cost billions. And it'll cost you. It'll cost you when you have a loved one who needs some kind of operation or needs some medication or needs some therapy. because it's not going to be available because UKIP would have spent all of the fucking nation's money on throwing out people who are working here and contributing to society. We're not talking about people who have committed crimes here. We're just talking about people who are here and building a life here and cannot claim benefits here because can't stress this enough, right? If you come here on a work visa, it has a thing on the work visa. I know this because I used to go out with an Australian who lived with me here in the UK, and it says no recourse to public funds. Okay? Can't take the dole. Can't get a pension. Can't turn up at the age of 65 and say, I'll have one of those pensions that you've been saving up for every year. My God, just the level of ignorance that it's like a force field. It's like the Ready Brek kid. Do you know what I mean? Like they glow with ignorance. They glow with fucking stupidity. And here's the line for them. Here's the line that you've got to remember. Okay, so when one of these RefUK fuckers, and you meet them, they're out there everywhere, go, oh, you know, these people coming over here in the boats, what are you doing? They throw the passports overboard, and then you tell me, oh, you get given a free phone and a house. They get a house, and they get a free phone and a house and a car and a job, and they get £500,000 a year off the taxpayer. Oh, okay. That sounds pretty juicy. Tell you what, lad, why don't you, right, get the boat, get the ferry over to Calais, right? And then once you're there, ditch your passport, right? And then pay a people smuggler $3,000, right? Get in a little leaky fucking dinghy, right? And then come across the channel in a storm in your leaky dinghy. And if you survive to get to like all the way over to Britain, right? 5-star hotel. 5-star fucking hotel. Michelin star restaurants for the rest of the time. Go on. Go on. If you really believe that, go and do it now. Go and do it. Why aren't you doing it? Like, seriously, mate. Seriously. You spend $3,000 and you get to stay in a 5-star hotel for 2 years. Oh, brilliant. Fucking, that sounds good. That sounds like someone came up to you and said, oh, you can stay in a 5-star hotel, waited on hand and foot, room service. It's all free. You have a golden iPhone every day. I'll wait. Go on. Fuck off. Go and do that if you really believe that's what's happening. Oh, hang on. No, you don't, do you? Because you know it's bullshit. You know it's absolute bull. Deep down in your heart, you know it's fucking bullshit. This would represent what RefUK want to do, what Zia Yusuf was saying he wants to do yesterday. It would represent one of the largest peacetime internal enforcement expansions in British history. These people are fucking fascists. And Zia Yusuf is the stupidest fucking fascist who ever fucking fashed because he hasn't got the right skin colour. I'm sorry, Zia. Like, you know, I've got no objection to you myself, but, you know, I'm not a racist. The people who you're trying to put in charge with these fucking deportation flights are fucking racists. How are they going to decide whether someone deserves to stay or should go? It's going to be based on the colour of their skin. And okay, Zia, I know you're very posh and you're privately educated, nepo baby fucking scum, but I'm sure there's someone out there that you know, that you love. I mean, if you're capable of fucking love, Zia, I don't know if you are. Probably not. But if you are, you know, some member of the family, let me not say you love them. Maybe you rely on them in some way for some kind of comfort or food, or I don't know what the fuck you do with your private life. Maybe they don't have the money. Maybe they don't have the private education. Maybe they don't have the contacts to stop the deportation flight from taking them back to Sri Lanka, where they've never fucking been. And they don't know anyone. And they don't speak the language. And they haven't got a job. So they end up on the streets of Colombo, begging for money, begging for fucking money. And if they're a woman, it's likely they'll get sexually abused, living on the streets of fucking Colombo. I mean, I guess it's okay if it happens to other people you don't know. Is that right? Is that right, Zia? Yeah, fucking horrible little monster. Fucking horrible little monster man, Zia Yusuf. 288,000 deportations a year, 800 per day, mass identification, arrest, detention, legal processing, removal operations. The administrative and legal burden would be enormous. The significant expansion of enforcement powers that would be required will cost Britain billions. And they want to end indefinite leave to remain. So people who are here legally, people who were brought here legally, who have been given indefinite leave to remain, they want to scrap it. And they want 5-year renewable work visas. So every 5 years you have to reapply. Why would you start a family? Why would you settle down here if every 5 years you have to beg to fucking stay? Why would you? And these stupid old twats who vote for RefUK. And yes, not all fucking boomers vote for RefUK. Just 99.7% of them. That's all. You know, not every single lot, obviously. But yeah, the 0.03% of you who don't vote for RefUK, thank you. But the ones who fucking do, they want this. But then everyone keeps asking them, who is going to make the money? And fuck wiping their fucking asses. They can wipe their own fucking asses, mate. Seriously, they vote for this, they can fucking have it. This is the future they want. Anyone who votes for RefUK should not be given any quarter when it comes to being looked after in their old age. Because I'm not going to fucking do it. You can't force me to do it, and I'm not going to fucking do it. End of. So we can either bring people into the country who want to do it, or we can get other people from this country to do it. Good luck with that. British people, yeah, they tend to be a little bit averse to sort of anything that involves a bit of hard yakka. You know, what a shame. Our birth rate has gone through the floor. Not enough people, even if there were enough, every single fucking person on this rock was really excited about the idea of looking after old people for the next 20, 30 years. Yeah, even if that was the case, it wouldn't generate enough money to pay the people to look after the old people. Because that's not how economies work. We can't just keep having these benefits for pensioners. We have a triple lock. Can we talk about the triple lock for a moment? I'll tell you what, before we talk about the triple lock, I'm going to have a look at the goal. Because I do feel like Diz is being sorely neglected here. And we should definitely, absolutely 100% throw some confetti into the mix, just for, you know, shit and giggles. So I'm going to start that goal now. What was I going to talk about? I've forgotten. I got confused. I got discombobulated. I got knocked sideways. I fell off my tangent. Fell off my high horse. Damn it! What was I going to talk? Remind me in the chat what I said just before I got waylaid. I got shanghaied by the whole setting up the super chat goal. Damn, what was it? At last someone noticed, said this. Graham is Aries. Surely his birthday is Saturday. No. I'm if I read the, I'm going to just make my seat go up a little bit. If I read the Daily Mail, which I don't because it's a fucking rag, it tells me that I'm a Pisces, but actually, you know, the position of the stars have moved a lot since in the last couple of thousand years when they made where the zodiacs were, and actually, on the date I was born, at the end of February 1979, the sun was in the constellation of Aquarius. So there you go. Al's triple lock. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah's paying attention. See, Sarah's on the ball this morning. I'm not. A fucking triple lock. All right, should we talk about this? So the triple lock works like this. You the increase in pensions is either wage increase, inflation, or 2.5%, the highest of the three. So in a given year, If wages only go up by 1%, but inflation is at 11%, pensioners get an 11% uplift in their income, but all the people working to pay for the pensions get a 1% increase. Can you see the problem? Can anyone see the problem there? Come on, come on. Squint, look really hard. So the pensioners are getting an 11% increase in what they get paid. And the workers who are paying for the pensions right now, oh, they only get 1%. Okay, well, that sucks, doesn't it? So yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked. But the RefUK are going to fuck it even more because they're proposing to scrap indefinite leave to remain. They want to replace it with these 5-year tests. And they want high salary thresholds on these visas. There are tens of thousands of people, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people currently with settled status who would lose their long-term security. These are people with families. They've settled down. They've got married. They've had kids, which fucking RefUK seem to want to force people to do. They've done everything right, and RefUK want to take everything from them. The vultures, the disgusting fucking jackals, the hyenas of fucking politics. They want to tear people apart. They want to tear families apart. They want to tear friendships, relationships apart. This is all they do. This is all Trump does. The families in America don't talk to each other anymore. Look at what Nigel Farage has already done, tearing this country apart with fucking Brexit. We've all got we all know people that we don't associate with anymore in one way or another because of Brexit. We all do. He did that. Nigel fucking Farage did that. What a rotten man. What a rotten piece of shit. And do you know what he did it for? Not for the benefit of our country, not for the benefit of the actual people who actually live here, for the benefit of himself, to feather his own nest. The guy who makes £1.5 million a year on side hustles, apart from being an MP, for which he gets 90,000 a year. Anyway, Viper Scott, thank you very much for the £2 super chat just to get things started for Dizz's Confetti fix. Thank you. I think Graham's an Aquarius. Where is my mind? Says Veggie Pie. No, it's I'm a Pisces apparently, but I'm not. Yeah, there's something very fishy about that ginger person. But yeah, when I was born, if you're going to be very serious about this ridiculous thing they call horoscopes, my birth sign. You know, the calendars moved about a bit. We had the Julian calendar, then we had the Gregorian calendar. You know, we didn't even have January and February for a long time. The year started in Mars, or March, as we like to call it. I just, yeah. Beware the eyes of March. But yeah, the ILR holders, indefinite leave to remain holders, make up less than 3% of universal credit claimants. And at least 1/3 of those claimants are in work. And they're not being paid enough by their employer. But instead of going after their employer, you're these seedy foreign companies that pay peanuts to people fucking making them all this money so they can afford these super yachts and the fucking rockets to Mars and all that kind of shit. The indefinite leave to remain is only typically granted after years of legal residence and contribution. In fact, the fucking Labour lot at the moment want to change it from 5 years to 10 years before you can fucking get it. Removing it retroactively will create mass legal uncertainty and the potential breach of settled expectations and long-standing legal principles. And this targets people who followed the rules. And it signals that settled status is not settled and undermines integration initiatives and incentives. Sorry, why would you want to integrate if you know you're going to be chucked out of the country in a few years' time? They also want to leave the European Convention on Human Rights. They want to, which underpins numerous UK legal protections. They want to make it legal for your employer to fire you for being ill, to fire you for your nan dying and you taking the day off to go to her funeral. They want to fire you for being gay. They want to fire you for being trans. They want to fire you for being black or brown. They want to fire you for being too tall or too short or being a woman or getting pregnant or being on your period or going through menopause. This is the future the RefUKers want. How do we get this through to people? How do we get this through to people? How do we get this through their thick fucking heads? Because RefUK's future for this country is fucking horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It's going to be horrible for fucking everyone. Go back to the days of the 1970s when there was only one Chinese restaurant in town, in the little village. Chinese restaurant, that was it. And the food was fucking shite. Not like now, where food is fucking amazing in this country. Not our food, mostly. I mean, a roast is pretty good, and a full English breakfast is pretty good. But, you know, generally speaking, we are a bit of a beans on toast kind of nation. But yeah, they want to withdraw from the ECHR. They was just incorporated into UK law by the Human Rights Act of 1988, leaving it would require major constitutional restructuring. What do you think they're going to do in that restructuring? They're going to make it so Nigel Farage is fucking leader for life, like what they're trying to do in America with Trump. Although he doesn't look like he's going to live much longer, so that's a good thing. The implications here are reduced avenues of appeal in deportation asylum cases, international diplomatic consequences. America's got the muscle to just tell countries that it's going to land flights. We don't. What are we going to do? We're going to invade fucking Zimbabwe if they won't take people back who have been living here legally for years. They're like, no, fuck off. We don't want people who have been living legally in your country for years. Leave them in your country. They've done nothing wrong. What crime have they committed? Oh, they were black. What? That they were a different colour, and we didn't like that. So we put up flags on a load of fucking lampposts like a bunch of twats, brought down the average house price in our areas by 10%. Something that we didn't do in Knightsbridge, of course. We didn't do that in Chelsea. Oh no, or Islington, or the Cotswolds even. We wouldn't do that where we live. We don't shit where we eat, for fuck's sake. We just allow our knobhead army to go out and shit on our behalf on the doorsteps of hard-working British people who may come from all over the fucking world. If you live here, you're fucking British. Let's fucking take them in. We need people from all over the world. This is a world country. I'm sick of all this provincial fucking little town, small town, fuck your sister mentality. Fuck off. If you want that, go live in Alabama. People have already get it, and they want this because they are cruel, says SG. Yeah. But this is the thing. They're going to be hoisted by their own petard. They're going to it's going to blow up in their faces. It's going to absolutely blow up in their faces. Like what we're seeing in America with people who've got a wife from Ireland or Britain or the Philippines or Thailand who are now being fucking deported, families ripped apart. And they're like, oh, I voted for Trump. I didn't expect him to go after my wife. Reverend Kathy, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. Not through heads, have to go through hearts. Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that. But I'm talking about the consequences of leaving the ECHR. Political strain on the Northern Ireland settlement. The Good Friday Agreement relies on the ECHR framework, and it positions the UK alongside a small group of non-signatory European states, which include Belarus and I say European states, I just say states, and Russia. You know, the wastes of the northern waste, the frozen northern wastelands, the badlands of Asia, where no fucker wants to live because, Jesus Christ, their population's going off a cliff. My God. They have a day in Russia in September when they have a day off. They have a day off to have sex. This is true. You have a day off work to have sex. This was. I don't know if Putin brought this in or this was brought in before Putin, but if I have a look in my book of my travels, Russia, every year on September the 12th, Russian workers are given the day off so they can stay home and have sex. True story. I read that in this book, Man of the World. You can buy, there's a link of this in the description. It's also available as an audio book if you want to listen to my dulcet tones screaming at you that I can't get on a boat. It would position us alongside Russia and White Russia, Belarus. Yeah, cool. Which is really just a vassal state of Russia. So it will align us with Russia, leaving the European Convention of Human Rights. But it is something new. We've known they wanted to leave the ECHR for ages. It is something new. They also want to expand stop and search powers for the police. and they want to end the diversity initiatives in police forces because they're doing so well. The police force, especially the Met, are doing so well at not being massive fucking racist, not being institutionally racist, not being institutional fucking misogynists. Yeah, they're doing a great job. Disproportionate impact of stop and search on black communities, and the trust between the police and minority communities are already fragile, and this expansion without safeguards risks increasing community tension and leading to riots and more social problems, which will cost us more money. They want to talk about protecting British culture as well. They want to ban converting churches into mosques. Have you ever been to the cathedral in Seville? It's quite fun. Go to the cathedral in Seville. It was a mosque, then it was a cathedral, then it was a mosque, then it was a cathedral. If you go in the middle of the cathedral, there's a mosque in the middle of the cathedral, then there's a cathedral outside the cathedral. It's like a Russian doll. It's like a Russian doll, but cathedrals and mosques. But you know what? They complement each other. It's a room where you go. It's a building you go and worship in. You go and pray to your God. You know what? If someone wants to turn a church into a mosque, as long as they respect the architecture of the building, great. There's a building, if you go down Princess Parkway, not Princess Parkway, but Princess Road in Liverpool, Princess Road in Liverpool. As you go in towards town, on the left, there's a massive old fucking church, and it's just falling apart. The roof has collapsed. It's all just falling apart, and it's really sad. It's really sad and depressing to see. But no one wants to use it because Christians mostly have, stop being Christians in a lot of cases, and so if someone else wants to take over that, if they be Muslim or Sikh or Hindu or pagan, I don't mind, as long as they don't trash the place, don't destroy its heritage. But yeah, I mean, sure, why not? What you gotta fix the roof? Okay, cool. You're going to pay the eating bills. You're going to make sure the pigeons don't fucking fly in and shit everywhere. Okay, cool. You use the building for something fucking useful. It's either that or turn it into a big gay brothel stroke Turkish bath. I mean, I'm for both of those things, but that's just me, I guess. God, imagine the response if you turned it into a big gay Turkish bath. Be beautiful though, wouldn't it? Imagine just chilling out in a big steamy fucking Turkish bath. With like the light filtering through the stained glass windows, Jesus looking down at you from the cross, going, "Nice one." What's with all these half-naked men in the church? They've only got a little cloth around their groin. What the fuck? And you're like, what? You talking about Jesus on the cross there? Hashtag just saying. So anyway, they want to preserve Britain's Christian heritage. Okay, you do know that before we were Christians, we were pagans, right? You do know that we worship the sun and the moon, right? We built Stonehenge. How far do you want to go back? Christian heritage. Why not protect the heritage of the people who came before the Christians? What about when the Vikings turned up and lots of people converted to the Norse gods? What about then? I mean, can we respect that as well? I mean, are we going to have layers upon layers? I mean, we've had Jews in this country for over 1,000 years. So we're going to, I mean, that's part of our culture. It's part of our community. Liverpool has the oldest mosque in the country. That's part of our culture. It's part of our heritage. Absolutely it is. Liverpool's oldest mosque, it's at the end of West Derby Road, Rocky Lane, coming into town. It's on the left there as you just go past, as you're just coming up to grab a granny at the Grafton. It's on the left there, and it was one of the mosques that was targeted by the fucking Gams after the horrific stabbings in Southport a couple of years ago, which was nothing to do with Islam, nothing to do with Muslims, nothing to do with jihad or with extremism, Muslim extremism. It's just a one-off nutter who was British, actually. He was actually Welsh. Yet they turned up outside this mosque, and the people in the mosque came out with tea and biscuits for everyone. Some biscuits. Got some biscuits for you. Do you want some biscuits, lads? Another conversation. So, we've got the idea of having state involvement in regulating religious property use. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Half this population of this country are fucking atheists. The fact that we're the only country, apart from Iran, that has people from the clergy who are automatically part of our fucking parliament for some fucking reason. Apart from Iran, that's the only other country that does that. Iran has people who are part of the legislature on the grounds that they are high up in their church. And we do exactly the same thing in the House of Lords with the Lords Spiritual, they're called. There's the Lords Temporal, the Time Lords, and then there's the Lord Spiritual. We've got Ms. Paula Thomas, £5 super chat. Thank you very much. According to an ex-civil servant, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor claimed a massage on expenses as a trade envoy. That doesn't surprise me. As we learned on the show of, God, this must have been about 6 months ago, maybe even longer. We were told by Mike Dix that one of the special protection officers of Prince Andrew, they have all names for everyone. So like the Queen might have been like Brenda, and the Prince of Edinburgh, the what's his name, the Duke of Edinburgh, the Prince fucking Philip. He was known as Brian or something. Yeah, they all had the code names, and the code name, that they referred to for Andrew was see you next Tuesday. Was C Unit. Was the C bomb. And I saw an interview, a clip of an interview on 60 Minutes in America where they were talking to one of the protection detail for Andrew, and he confirmed it. That's what they used to call him. The cunt. I may have just demonetized the show, but worth it. Confetti time for this, confetti! Oh, my phone fell out of my pocket. Confetti time for dead confetti! Woo! Thank you very much, Viper Scott, there, for confettiing us. Fucking legend, mate. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you. I'm not doing it that way because I'm doing it to heaven. I'm doing it to Scotland, which is always above me. Unless I'm in Scotland. And then I just look down. Well, no, I'm still looking up at the Highlanders. They're looking down at the Sassenachs, of which I am. We Sassenach. That's what I got called when I was a kid, going to Scotland. You're all right, you're wee Sassenach. There you go. Your mum's in the chat, Graham. Oh no, sorry, mum. Didn't mean to swear. Woo! Come on, I've watched all of Game of Thrones with your mum. She's seen it all before. I've got a really cool mum. Who I'm going to see this week because it's my birthday. So I go back to Liverpool. On Wednesday. So I'll be in Liverpool for a few days for my birthday, which is also Global Scouse Day. So if you want to have scouse, which is a great dish to make up because you can have a vegetarian version called blind scouse, which is the official traditional version. It's not like we've made a veggie version of something. It's not like a veggie sausage. This is the real meal that poor people would eat because they couldn't afford meat. So there is a recipe for that, which is slightly different from the recipe for normal scouse, which normally has lamb or beef in it. But what I do, because I'm a dirty bastard like this, is I sometimes put lamb and beef in me scouse. Hell yeah. Although, there's a very good chance that actually on my birthday on Saturday, I will probably end up going to the Venshaw Street Market. Because if you've been to Liverpool and you've been to the Venshaw Street Market, it's awesome. It's awesome. I know people are very fond of the Baltic Market, but Venshaw Street does it for me. Blind Scouts for me, says Martin Harrow. There you go. Can't call them veggie sausages anymore. Remember, the EU decides to waste time on converting the name from sausages to something else. Like, why? I mean, seriously, EU, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are EU doing? But yes, so yeah, very exciting stuff. I'm gonna be 27 again for the 20th time on Saturday. It's all right. It's fine. Just because I'm approaching 50 doesn't mean I'm feeling old. I still get treated like a kid by the boomers. Boomers talk to everyone like they're children, don't they? Have you noticed that? They like to infantilize people. Hello, you got your big boy pants on, yeah. Anyway, not all boomers are really, really patronising. That I've just got to say, not all boomers. There you go. Not all boomers are mad patronising. Just some of them, most of them. Anyway, so yeah, this Moss thing is kind of fucking nuts, isn't it? The different treatment of religions, praying to the same God, by the way. And there's a shift towards cultural normal framing of citizenship and saying if you want to be a real citizen, you have to be a Christian. Well, that fucks me because even though I've got 8 British passports and nearly all of them are full, I can't claim to be a British citizen because I'm not a Christian. I mean, I grew up in a Christian environment. I was a choir boy at the local church in West Derby in Liverpool. But yeah, can't claim to be really British because I'm not a Christian. I learned too well. I didn't learn too much. I just read the fucking Bible. But yeah, it signals the prioritization of identity politics over pluralism, over having a society, a rich tapestry of people from all walks of life, from all over the world, with different religions, who just want to work together and live together, and people actually want to live here. This is what infuriates me about people who don't accept immigrants, in the same way that it infuriates me that people don't accept trans people. And here it is, right? You don't accept trans people, okay? Why? Because I don't know, they scare me when I'm in the toilet or something. I don't know what the fucking reason is. But like, what annoys me, right, is this, right? If you're trans, right, you must really like women. Like, not women in general, just the idea of womanhood, like being a woman. Like, that must, you must feel like that is such a central aspect of your persona, of who you are, right? Your real self, your true self, right? And so for women who are cisgender women who are treated like women all their lives, and yeah, I don't deny that for some that's been a curse. It's been something that where they haven't been treated well at all, especially by misogynistic men, most of whom will go and vote for UKIP. RefUK, whatever they call themselves these days. Yeah, I absolutely get that. But here's the thing, right? Trans women want to be women. Like, they really actually actively want to be women. Whereas immigrants coming here actively want to be British. They want to stay here on this rock for whatever fucking reason. Maybe they like it when it rains for 2 months straight and we don't see the sun. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they are actively trying to do this thing. They want this thing. They want to be British. They want a British passport. They want to integrate into society. And it's not like all the trans people I know are like, oh, I just want to hang out with trans people. It's not the case. In the same way that all people I know from different ethnic backgrounds aren't sitting around going, I just want to hang around with people of the same ethnic background as me. I mean, they might have a few friends from that particular background. But here's the thing, my friends. Have a look at how many people in this country marry across that divide. Marry people who are not necessarily pasty white, Anglo-Saxon, Christian, fucking bearded ginger twats like me. You know, look at how many marriages there are out there where you've got one person who's white as snow and the other one comes from India or comes from sub-Saharan Africa or comes from South America. It happens a lot. We integrate. Britain integrates and integrates in some cases better than any other country in the world. Do you want to be world leading? Do you know what we're world leading at? Falling in love. Falling in love with people from everywhere, anywhere. And that's wonderful. That's amazing because love is a very, very, very powerful drug. I mean, thing. It's very powerful. And that seems to just overcome it. You know, that this sort of divide that the refuckers want to put in place. They want to say, no, but this person doesn't look the same. This person doesn't practice the same religion. No, you can't mix. You can't. And I'm like, why? What scares you so much? Some of the best looking people in the world, are the result of what you would call a mixed marriage or a mixed relationship. And for my money, the best looking people in the world, right? That's three groups, like 3 countries that I would just put like top of the list, right? Colombia, not all people know this, but when you go to Colombia, most Colombians don't look like Colombians that you see on the telly or in America, right? A lot of Colombians are black because there was a big number, there was a huge number of people coming over from Africa against their will back in the day who lived there. Brazil is the same. Brazil. So you have a lot of people there who are mixed heritage. They've got some black heritage. They've got some South American heritage, maybe even some Inca heritage for people coming up, or maybe some Mayan from people coming down from Central America. The white European heritage. And then you've also got Chinese people who move to places in Central America, Panama. Loads of Chinese people, and people integrate. They get together. They just do, and they produce beautiful-looking people. The other one is Iran. Iran, you think, well, Iran, that's that. They don't take too many immigrants into Iran. Yeah, that's true, but historically, Iran was the cradle of civilization, but also it was the crossroads, wasn't it? It was there. You couldn't traverse the Silk Road, because don't forget, Iran goes from the Caspian Sea in the north all the way down to the Shatt al-Arab waterway, and therefore the Gulf, the Arabian Gulf or the Persian Gulf in the south. And to get across to the Silk Road, you had to go through Iran. So people coming from Europe across to Asia, people going from Asia across to Europe, people coming up from Africa through Egypt into getting on the Silk Road in Lebanon, and then going across. It was always a melting pot. It was always a mix of people, and they're fucking beautiful. Madagascar was the one that blew me away. Madagascar, you have people from Africa, you have people from Europe, you have people from the Indian subcontinent, you have people from Southeast Asia. And they all came together. They all literally, and they all and to produce some of those beautiful people on Earth. Do you know who I think are the fucking mingonest people on Earth? People who come from some fucking horrible little monoculture up in the fucking Appalachian Mountains. Where they all fucking just keep it in the family, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Just go spread your oats somewhere fucking else. Jesus Christ. But what RefUK are trying to do here? They're trying to push water uphill. Trying to turn us back from where we've come to at this moment, where we are. And I know that everything's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we are incredibly accepting of the fact, most of sensible people who live in sensible areas of the country. Not that I live in a sensible area at the moment, but I suppose we do have a Labour MP. That's one thing we've got going for us, and I've got 2 Green councillors here, so yeah, that's kind of cool. But I think it's I think that the idea that they can turn back time to this fictional 1950s Britain when there were no black people. There were, because the Windrush people came over at that time, but there were no black people. There were, because fucking Shakespeare wrote Othello for 400 years ago. 400 years ago, right? There were people in London going to the Globe Theatre to go and watch Othello who knew what a black person was because they saw black people. Simple as that. Like, they didn't have to have a line in that explaining what a Moor was. They didn't need that. They didn't need to do that in the play, because the people who went to see the play 400 years ago, it's not like the only faces they'd ever seen in their lives were white faces. And yes, I know that the actors would have been blacked up, but then again, at the time, women weren't allowed to play roles in the theatre. It had to be men pretending to be women. Yeah. But yeah, it is really sad when I see people who they so want something and they're good at it, People who come here and want to integrate and want to work are fucking good at it. Trans women are fucking great at it, They are good at being women. It's what they want to be. They don't see it as a curse. I mean, you might think that people being horrible to you, obviously that's a fucking curse, but that's nothing to do with your own identity. It's like the way I get het up, and I go on about this a lot, about the upper echelons of society gatekeeping the rest of us out of the arts. It really fucks me off. And I know we have a lot of really cool music coming up from the streets, like, drill music and stuff like that. It's just great, and that's a wonderful celebration of people's culture, so long as it doesn't get violent, all right? But then again, I mean, I do find a little bit of hypocrisy here, where you'll have a black artist from London, right, from Tower Hamlets, doing a drill album, and they go, oh, some old crusty white fella listens to it and goes, oh, it's very violent lyrics. People might listen to this and go and stab someone. I'm like, do you want to listen to Murder Ballads by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds? Do you want to listen to? Yeah, do you want to listen to that? You want to talk about violence in songs? Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, come on. A little bit of hypocrisy there. Was anyone screaming to ban Murder Ballads? No. Where the Wild Roses Grow with Nick Cave and Kylie Minogue was a huge hit fucking song, with its video played on heavy rotation on VH1 and MTV at the time. VH1 was kind of like the channel for older people. I play like 80s videos, and us 90s kids weren't interested in that. We wanted the new stuff. But yeah, that song is about a guy who falls in love with a woman, and she falls in love with him, and then he fucking kills her with a rock. There's other songs on that album, like O'Malley's Bar, where someone goes into a bar and just fucking kills everyone, and then gets really sexually excited about killing everyone in the bar. And it goes on for a long time. I think there's a version on B-Sides and Rarities that goes on for about 14 fucking minutes. And it's just a list of people being killed and how he killed them and how much he enjoyed killing them. And it ends with him getting taken away in a police car and counting up how many people he's killed. Yeah. Maybe a black artist from London should fucking rap that album and literally just put it out and just call it Murder Ballads fucking, Redux or something. and watch the pearl clutches going, oh my god, the lyrics are so violent. Yeah. Stagger Lee. Oh my god. Can't show that before the fucking watershed. I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die, says Colin Bacon. Took a shot of cocaine and away we go. Yeah. Delilah's a pretty violent song. Yeah. She stood there laughing, and then she saw the knife in my hand. She laughed no more. Bit of hypocrisy there. What about Maxwell's Silver Hammer? Arguably the worst Beatles song. It's about a guy going around murdering people with a hammer, and then he gets caught, gets taken to court, right? And he's there with the judge, and he kills the fucking judge with his silver hammer. Like, what? And this is this little fucking Edwardian fucking jaunty song. You sing that as a rap song. Could you imagine? My God. And Gallifreyan Wren agreeing with Elle. Green trans isn't the problem. It's a small bell ends. Yeah, absolutely. But to go back to the whole thing about the upper echelons gatekeeping, there are people who are really fucking talented at stuff. They really want to do stuff. They have the energy, the enthusiasm. Like trans women have the enthusiasm to be women. Like trans men have the enthusiasm to be men. Like people coming over from other countries, even refugees, right? They have the enthusiasm to pay someone £3,000 to get into a leaky fucking dinghy to come across 30 miles of really treacherous fucking sea to get here. Knowing all the risks. That's some level of enthusiasm. Can we bottle that enthusiasm? And the people who have lived here for now 2, 3, 4 generations, who are completely integrated into our society and love it. They love being British. They love the freedoms that having a British passport gives them. To travel around the world, to start up their own fucking business, to marry whoever they want. And that's what the upper echelons want to take away from the rest of us. It's all right for Zia Yusuf. He's fucking rich. He went to private school, for fuck's sake. He's on my private school mafia list. As is pretty much everyone in RefUK apart from Neanderthal. He's like their little fucking caveman that they bring out and go, oh, he represents the working class. And he's like, oh. Things like most of the working class people I know personally are in Liverpool, and they're left wing as fuck. They don't fall for this shite. And I really hate the way that working class people are portrayed in this light. Now, I'm not working class. I never pretend to be. I never say I am. I am not working class. But I've got to say, there are a lot of middle class people who vote for RefUK. Middle class people who've done rather well. Maybe bought their own council house in 1989 because Thatcher let them. They bought it for 2 bob and a copy of last night's Echo, and now it's worth £500,000, and they're whinging. They're whinging. So, did you see that woman in London who was whinging about a 17 fucking room mansion? She was like, "Oh, if they make me pay an extra £2,000 a year on my council tax, I won't be able to live here anymore." I'm like, yes, fucking move, fucking move. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm having a go at boomers today, but I would just like to point out, not all boomers, but a lot of boomers. Here's a big problem we've got, right? So some boomers are on the way out for one reason or another, usually age related, and they're leaving their children, usually their grown children, leaving them stuff. Not necessarily money, but just fucking loads of stuff that then their kids have to sort through all of the stuff. It's a big problem. It's a big problem. No one's really talking about it, but it's a big problem. Stuff. I don't know that anyone who's sort of the same age as me and might be in the same kind of situation as me will know exactly what I'm talking about here. It's like they must have got to a certain point where they were just like, I paid off the mortgage on my house because it only cost £2.50, and but you know there's 12% interest on that £2.50. I mean, fucking hell, I don't know how I paid it off on my minimum wage fucking work. I saw a clip of Rory Sutherland the other day, and he was talking about the fact that people work for their homes, and he's like, isn't it mad, right? If you have like £500,000, right, and you could go out, you can buy a little house in like London, right? Or you could buy a Maserati, you know, you could buy like a Bugatti, you could buy like an amazing fucking sports car that is like an artisan thing that's been put together, you know, handcrafted, rolled on the thighs of Cuban virgins, right? Or you could buy a house that a postman would have been able to afford 100 years ago. That's a really good point. It was a really good point. No, well, you work for your house. You're working for your house. But yeah, boomers leaving stuff. Look at all this stuff I bought. Like, oh, fucking hell. Quick to Etsy. Quick to eBay. Quick to Vinted. How big is that list now? The private school mafia list? It's 1,300. I think it's gone over 1,300. Let me just check. Go to privateschoolmafia.com. 1,307 entries on the list. Hey, do you know what? Do you know Zia Yusuf's not on the list? He should be because he did go to private school. I need to add him. So there you go. To go with Zach Goldsmith, Zach Polanski, Zara Dawson, Zoe Grunwald, Zoe Strimple, Zoe Wanamaker, and Zoe Williams, the Guardian columnist, which all need to be added to the list. Funny you say that. When my grandma died, it took my mum and my sister years to sort a house. They even found stuff that is now on Call the Midwife. Yeah, stuff. I've left you all this stuff. Oh, great. So now I have to go through all your stuff and decide what goes in the skip and what goes on eBay. Thanks. Cheers. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, boomers, but what are you doing to us? It's like just this endless torment. Social contract is very strange. A woman can wear a bikini on a beach, but not underwear. A low-cut top is okay, but a turtleneck or top with the keyhole cut is rude. It's revealing less, says Elle. I know. We had a big talk about that at the end of the show on Friday, which I probably should take off the internet because we were... I think we went a bit overboard on that. The tiniest of minds is about clothes. I'm dressed inappropriately. What, in a maxi skirt? Clothes is a bot set in stone. What's next? Bang kilts. George Carlin did excellent piece on stuff. Cool. Looks around, house full of junk. Is Graham talking about me? Says Lemon Twist. Oh no, I don't know. I was up till past midnight last night because finally finished the basement. Yeah. Now we're calling it the den. It used to be the utility room, but we've had to move some stuff around and got rid of the pipes, and the cables have been cleaned up, and the Artex has been plastered over. So it's nice. I've got a really cool Sputnik lamp down there. You like it? It's got like the Sputnik balls coming out on the stick. It looks fucking cool, like 1950s style. Looks boss. Anyway, so I was like, okay, well, I've got to sort some stuff out. I just found the box. And oh my God, it's just like stuff from all these different eras of my life. It's like Taylor Swift. Okay, so this is my university era. This is my filmmaking era. This is my traveling to every country in the world era. This is my living on an island era. This is my fighting Brexit era. And now this is the COVID era. COVID era. That's got to be preserved. And now we're in the kind of, I don't know what era this is. It's just the era of trying to stay sane in an increasingly insane world era. I don't know how you fit that on the front of a album. I go out dressed as a nun in a mini dress if this keeps up. I'll be boss. I think once I've had breakfast, I'll crank 1,000 words out. Yep, I got a frame then. Absolutely do it. Absolutely. Just sit down, do it. Doesn't have to be good. Doesn't have to make any sense. Just get those words out, and then you can smash the rock and the rock face of the words that you've put and make something beautiful out of it. And then listen, we need to talk about Chagos and Farage going to fucking. He flew to the Maldives for a day. He claimed the UK government blocked him from entering the Chagos Islands, which you're not allowed to enter because it's a fucking it's a military zone. Like the deal has not yet been done. You're not allowed to go to the British overseas Indian territories. You're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to do it. The British Indian Ocean Territory. Sorry. BIOT. You're not allowed to go to the BIOT. I didn't go to the BIOT when I was traveling to every country in the world because it's not a country. It's part of Britain, right? And you're not allowed to go there as a civvy. You can go there as part of the military if you want, but only if you're told to. The entry requires permits. The territory is restricted. The UK government reportedly had no advance notice of his visit. It was all a fucking publicity stunt. The territory contains the joint UK-US military base on Diego Garcia, and approximately 2,000 Chagosans were forcibly removed in the 1960s and 70s. And he's presenting himself as being blocked by the government. He's framing it as suppression of opposition. He's described migrants crossing the channels as being treated preferentially. No, what the fuck are you on about? If you got on a fucking leaky boat and tried to get into Britain without a fucking passport, we'll pull you in and we'll not arrest you, but we'll have to, process you. And it being preferential treatment for refugees. I mean, have you seen the hotels they put the refugees in with like 7 to a fucking room? Have you seen the Tories wanted to put them on a fucking boat where people got Legionnaire's disease? One fucking guy fucking died on one of those refugee boats. Now this government wants to put them in army fucking camps. People moaning about that. Well, if they're not being fucking used, you got all these buildings, these huts with the roof on top, where we can keep people together. Oh, we don't want refugees living here. They might kill us. They're not going to fucking kill you, daft dickhead. They're running away from being killed themselves. Why would they put themselves in jail in this country? Or, risk getting flown back to their country because they've committed a crime in this country? It makes no fucking sense. Make it make sense. People who come here are less likely to commit crimes than British people because we can't be deported. Although when fucking Zia Yusuf gets into power, of course, he's got to fucking start deporting people. We're fucked if we've got a fucking foreign sound and surname. I'll be deported to Wales. Richard, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, but the UK government will let Farage fly in by helicopter. Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? Maybe you should go by helicopter, Nigel. Go on. The critics have described it as a cheap stunt because that's what it is, and he is a steep chunt. This is like this sort of high drama international intervention, symbolic alignment with Trump's criticism of the UK Chagos deal, and it's the importation of US style grievance politics. But then we need to also talk about Matt Goodwin, who may very well, considering the Greens and Labour are doing a very good job of splitting the vote between themselves for the left wing in Gordon and Denton. It does look very likely that RefUK might actually squeak this, and then Labour and the Greens are just going to blame each other till the heat death of the universe. It would have been great if everyone had voted for the Green Party. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, like seriously, all things being equal, Labour won it with over 50% of the vote in the last election. Everyone should just piled in with Labour. I know you want to tell Labour to fuck off right now, but look, I'm being fucking serious when I say this. I know Labour are shit. I know they're problematic. I know they've been really shit on trans issues and other things, right? I get that. I absolutely 100% get that. And they could be doing so much better and they could be doing so much more. And Keir Starmer looks like a rabbit fucking headlights. He does my fucking head in. Fuck off, Keir. Just fuck off, right? I get that, okay? All those caveats, right? When I say that Reform are worse, right? I'm not talking about, this kind of fantasy, ephemeral idea of what may come. All right, I'm telling you now that if RefUK get in, it's not just going to be a case of the government at the moment going after trans people for no fucking good reason. They're going to go after trans people, and I mean literally go after them. They'll make being trans illegal. They will make conversion therapy for trans kids the norm. They will go like you would not believe, because all they have is culture war. This is all they want. They're going to make life very, very difficult for all of us, because the one other thing they're going to do is they're going to fucking tank the economy. And that's going to affect everyone. And where our economy goes down, people fucking die. Children fucking die. And this is the future they want. They want a future where if you can't afford it, you can't afford dental care, you can't have it. So you die of your teeth. That's the future they want. So this is an existential threat to Britain. And I'm kind of just thinking, fucking hell, man. What are Labour's policies when it comes to the environment? Okay, they got rid of the ban on onshore wind farms. They've got Great British Power, which is getting started up. They're commissioning new wind turbines, solar arrays. They're making it easier for people to get a subsidy, to get a heat pump, to get solar on their own houses. They're pushing for electric vehicles. They are pushing all that stuff. Farage and his clowns want to reverse all that stuff. They want to they want to not go after water companies. They want water companies to pump as much shit into the water as they like, because these are the people who don't drink water. They drink champagne for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. These are the people who don't have to slum it with the hoi polloi. They're on an upper echelon. They don't move amongst us. They don't have to live our lives. And the horror show that they have waiting for us is beyond horrific. And we've seen this because Matt Goodwin has suggested that young women need to have a biological reality check. He said women are having children too late. Why? One of my best friends has had 2 kids in the last couple of years, in her 40s, and they're fine. What are you talking about too late? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Previously voted tax advantages for women with multiple children, which is weird because they also want to get rid of the 2-child benefit cap. So, if you're born into a rich family, then cool, have loads of babies, because, and we'll give you a tax break, and rich people love those tax breaks, don't they? Saz, thank you very much for the £2 super chat. It's kind of you. He appeared to, Matt Goodwin appeared to agree in a podcast discussion that female-dominated universities drive what they call politically correct authoritarianism. That's the thing that, where I come on this show and I can't say the N word or the P word or the R word. Yeah, I can't. Good. I don't want to say those words. Those words make me profoundly uncomfortable. I don't use them in everyday life. It's not just that I'm coming online and I'm purposely not using those words because I don't want to appear not woke. I'm woke as fuck. I'm woke maxing, motherfuckers. I'm hitting that woke with a fucking hammer, readjusting it, making it even better, somehow. But apparently, old people. Oh, God, I'm going to have to use this button a lot today, aren't I? Not all boomers, but a lot of boomers. All they want to do is say, oh, when I was a little girl, I had an N-word doll. And no one had a problem with it. Oh my God. Okay, I think that people did have a problem with it, but the people who had a problem with it have no power to stop you from doing it. Anyway, so Matt Godwin's obviously been criticised as sexist and dystopian, compared it to The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, seen as moralising women's reproduction choices. And it moves RefUK beyond immigration to social engineering territory, along with saying everyone has to be Christian now for some fucking reason. And it reinforces the narrative of demographic anxiety and aligns with wider Western far-right political discourse about white replacement theory. We're getting replaced. What? We're getting replaced with better looking people. Okay, cool. Smarter, more educated, people with better morals, people with more empathy. Okay, cool. Right, fine. I don't mind. I'm not going to be here forever. I'd rather be replaced by them than some small-minded, petty fucking dickhead who's no good for anyone and just, sits on his arse all day complaining about everybody else. And also we've got this sort of broader ideological direction of RefUK, of the sovereignty, absolutism. This idea that everyone has to be fucking Christian and white, like fuck off. That's not our nation. That's not our world. That's not our country anymore. The idea they're going to pull us out of the ECHR, the aggression, deportation targets, the cultural nationalism, expanding the police powers to be able to knock on people's doors and demand to see papers. I don't want to live in that world. I don't want to live in the 1930s Germany world that these motherfuckers want. I don't want to live in that world where there's a knock on the door. My partner can't hear it because she's deaf, and so they kick the fucking door down. And then they demand to see our fucking papers to make sure that we're right, with the right people in the right fucking house in the right fucking country. Fuck off. I don't want that. I don't want that for my family. I don't want it for any family I fucking know. I don't want it for anyone. I don't want it for anyone. Why would you want that? Why would you want that future? Unless your brain is so fucking twisted through years of being told you're the most amazing and fucking wonderful generation in fucking history because you think you're the fucking Wolf of Wall Street because you bought your house for £2.50 in 1973 and now it's worth 27 million fucking pounds. They want ICE-style enforcement. They want law and order maximalism, like picking people up for committing no crime other than being who they are, whether they're trans or whether they're foreign. Whether they were born in another country, or whether they were born in this country, but they look like they may have been born in another country. Maybe they've got an accent. You got a police accent, are you, in this fucking place? Are you mad? Government suppression, personality-led campaigning, cultural grievance politics. They want mass detention. They want to expand our infrastructure. Who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for the upkeep of these churches that are not allowed to be turned into mosques, but we've got to keep, even though no one's fucking going there? Who's going to put that? We are. The people who don't use the fucking church are going to have to fucking pay for it, aren't we? They want to weaken judicial oversight. They want to get rid of the European Convention on Human Rights. They want to scrap the Equalities Act. The first thing that disgusting blobfish woman, Suella Braverman, she's one of the good ones. She's pick me, she says. I mean, if the leopards ate her face, it might be a fucking improvement. But like the Suella Braverman, she said, when I'm equalities minister, I'm going to get rid of all equality. Ha 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 ha! When you hear someone like that, private school fucking bellend like that saying that, it's just fucking grim. It's just really grim. And she just thinks it's not going to happen to her or anyone she cares about. And do you know what? It probably won't, because she's fucking rich, right? For starters. And she doesn't care about anyone but herself. She went to Heathfield School, privately educated, privately fucking, all of these fuckers are privately. I don't know what they're taught in these private schools, but it certainly ain't the fuck to be nice to people. It certainly isn't being a decent fucking human being. I mean, some people who come out of private school turn into decent human beings by some fucking miracle. Maybe someone they met at university who wasn't a complete gobshite. But God, they don't seem to teach morals, do they? Common decency doesn't seem to be on the fucking curriculum, because they don't have to follow the national curriculum. They don't even have to have qualified teachers. They don't have to be inspected by Ofsted. They don't have to pay fucking tax. Fuck, you're kidding me, aren't you? And every one of those little private school twats costs the taxpayer £26,000 in fucking subsidies a year. £26,000? Because they get these mad subsidies, because every time they build a fucking new, shooting range or golf course or cut, they redirect a river so they can do some fishing in the fucking river. Costs that, it gets match funded by the government because these things are charities. By the government, by us, okay, cool, yeah, no, we'll pay for your golf course, yeah, we'll pay for the upkeep of your fucking 18-hole fucking golf course and your fucking school. Well, our state-run schools can't afford a fucking fucking tablet to go around for the class. They can't afford fucking textbooks from the last 20 years. I had the entire periodic table listed in it. It's just buy them and try them and the placeholder names they had at the end of the periodic table before they actually gave them names a few years ago. And they want increased executive power. The government that under RefUK want to be able to curtail human rights protections. They want to tell the judicial system that they're in charge. They want to do a Trump. There are people in this country looking at what Trump is doing in America and thinking, I'll have a bit of that. That sounds great. I'll have a bit of that. Brexit would have worked if we done it properly. And do you know what's really horrible? We could have 5 years of this and it will end in disaster and everyone could end up fucking homeless and living on the street and having to suck off Latvian sailors for bread. And there'll still be people who'll say, oh no, it would have worked if Nigel had been allowed to do what he wanted to do. But, you know, it was the courts, it was the House of Lords, it was the king, it was the king, it was the woke king, it was the woke sausage fingers king. He was the problem. They want to target settled migrant communities. They want to frame religion as part of our national identity. They want to make fertility-based moral pressure, put that on young women. You know, they want a reinforcement of division politics. Do you know not having a kid in your 20s is fucking responsible? That's responsibility. If you cannot afford to have the child, don't have the fucking child. That's what they say. That's what they say on the right. Well, you shouldn't have had the kid if you can't afford them. We're going to have a two-child benefit cap, blah, 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 blah. But here we go. We got framing opponents as enemies of sovereignty. They're whinging about sovereignty while being, you know, hanging out of fucking Trump's arse and saying, "Oh, whatever you say, Don, whatever you say, we'll do it. Yes, sir, no, sir, 3 bags full, sir." Fawning little sycophantic bastards. They would never, ever, ever tell Trump to fuck off. They'll be like, oh yeah, but in fact, we had Nigel Farage going over to America asking the American president to put more fucking tariffs on us, putting more tariffs on our country. What a fucking traitorous shit dog he is. What a fucking piss-out bastard. Nigel Farage is the most disgusting human beings that have ever fucking existed. He's like something that just climbed out the fucking slime, primordial slime. He's got a face like a melted fucking welly. I hate everything about him. And when he carks it, I'm going to have a fucking party. Can't fucking wait. Same with Trump. Can't fucking wait for these fucking losers just to fuck off this shuffle off this mortal fucking coil. Join the choir invisible. Just push up the fucking daisies. Be bereft of life. I just can't fucking stand these disgusting people. And yet there are people out there who are like, oh, I think they're great. I think they're great. They're the best thing that ever happened to us, to our country. All the division, all the hatred, all the anger. You know, I don't have that towards people in my community. I have it towards Farage. I have it towards Trump. In the same way that, you know, it's difficult though, isn't it? Because it's very easy for us to call RefUK voters dickheads, because they are. I mean, by and large, they're dickheads. You've spoken to any RefUK voter, you know they don't know anything about the world. They don't know, but they're so arrogant. They think they do. They'll say stuff to me like, Graham, well, you might have a degree in history and politics from Manchester University, and you might have got an A in your A levels in your politics exam. One of only 2 kids in the whole fucking school to actually get an A in that particular fucking exam, the best state school in Liverpool that I went to. You know, you may have been to every country in the fucking world and actually talked about politics every day for the last 5 fucking years online, but you know. What you don't realise is, and then they just spew projectile vomit on me some bullshit that they've read in the Daily fucking Mail. And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Oh yeah, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. And these people are living in fucking lovely houses, detached houses with a Ferrari outside. You don't get it. And I'm like, okay, it's very difficult not to turn around and say they're all fucking dickheads, because kind of, you know, I think deep down we all know that they probably, you know, don't know much stuff about things, but think they do because of the old Dunning-Kruger effect where everyone thinks they know more than they actually do. But I do try and reserve my absolute piss-boiling hatred for Nigel Farage and Donald Trump. These are 2 characters who have fucked the world. They have fucked the world. And you might think I'm exaggerating about that when I say about Nigel Farage fucking the world. But no, he's the guy behind Brexit. Brexit wouldn't have happened without Nigel Farage. Brexit, I mean, there is no way in the world that Brexit would have happened without the force of personality that is Nigel Farage making it an issue. Making, dumb bloody Cambot freak out in the running up to the 2015 election that he wasn't going to get a majority and he'd have to spend another 5 years hanging out with Nick fucking Clegg, also privately educated. And he said, well, I'll give an in-out referendum. And it'll be a non-binding referendum, so it doesn't have to be legal. So you can cheat as much as you like because it's a non-binding referendum. And so they did cheat. My God, they cheated. And then people said to me at the time, they went, "Oh yeah, but the other side cheated too. The Remain side cheated too." I'm like, "Okay, well, run it again then." You don't run a race and go, "Oh yeah, but all the runners cheated, so we're gonna make it stand." You know, you don't have a football match where both teams fucking cheat and they go, "Okay, well, we'll let the result stand." No, you either scrap the whole fucking match, which is probably the best idea, and dock both fucking teams some points, or you play it again. And you say, this time, if either of you cheat, then you are out. Like, you won't be an option on the fucking referendum thing. It will be, do you want to stay in the EU? And the answer will be yes. And there will be no. These RefUK fuckers are portraying legal constraints on what the government is allowed to do in terms of our rights, in terms of taking away our rights and the way we can be treated. It's framing those legal constraints as constraints which have been built up over hundreds of years of history, hundreds of years of strife, hundreds of years of people not getting justice, and they want to claim it's all illegitimate now. They want to reduce pluralism to cultural conformity. They want us all white, all Christian, all having babies at the age of, and these are the same people, right? Exactly the same people that a few years ago were going off on one of our single mums. Teenage pregnancies, single mums. And, we've had the highest net migration figures in years because of Suella Braverman, who was Home Secretary, and Robert Jenrick, who was Immigration Minister. In the years when we had the highest net migration figures ever. It's gone down now. It's looking this year, we might have a minus. We might actually lose people from this country, which is not good. This is not good for the economy. We've also got, because, we invest in people. I know you say we should invest in people more, but like the investment that we make is education, is the NHS that people use and stuff like that. And so at a certain point in your working life where you've actually finally break even in the amount of money that you paid in tax and the amount of money that you're taking out of society. A lot of people never break even, but some do. But then if people leave halfway through, they'll never break even. They don't ever stand a chance to go and live in fucking Dubai, where they have Sharia law and halal food. Yay! I'm going off somewhere where there's Sharia law, where I can eat halal food all the rest of my days, and I can't live with my girlfriend because we're not married. Yay! That's the future I want. And we've also got the cost of living pressures, the NHS waiting list, the housing shortage, the perceived loss of control of our borders being ramped up by the fucking tabloid press, the disillusionment with both the Tories and Labour, and they're trying to jump in the vacuum. The RefUK fuckers are trying to jump in the vacuum. The Tories are fractured post-Brexit, post-COVID, post-austerity, post-trust. Labour are being quite cautious in government, which isn't really serving them well at all. An overabundance of caution. This is how the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. An overabundance of caution. And voters in these so-called left-behind areas feel economically stagnant, and identity politics are filling that economic vacuum. Now, there are ways of stopping them. Labour need to govern better. First, Labour need to govern better. They need to deliver visible improvements. They need to reduce waiting times NHS waiting times in measurable ways. They need to accelerate the house building and get this stuff built quickly and effectively before the next election. They do not have 10 years to wait. They need to get it going on this. They need to show falling net migration is through policy competence rather than rhetoric. This is difficult because actually when it comes to deportation of people who are criminals, Biden deported way more people than Trump has. Trump's just deporting anyone that they can find. And the criminals are very good at staying under the radar because they as criminals. Labour need to demonstrate functioning public services. And when it comes to economic security, they need to raise wages in a sustainable fashion. They need to invest massively in regional infrastructure and the people. They need to invest in people. They need to show tangible gains in northern and coastal towns. Make things look nice. Make things look nice and put your fucking name all over them. This was brought to you by your Labour government. This was brought to you by your Labour council. You put your fucking name on it. Trump does it. Trump puts his name on his buildings everywhere, right? He puts his name on buildings that aren't even fucking his. This was one of the big mistakes that the EU made. The EU pumped billions of pounds of funding into the UK, and you'd have a massive fucking arena, and then you'd have a tiny little plaque, little plaque, little A6 plaque, that little star, little circle of stars, and it said supported by the EU. And unless you had, a lot of time and effort and a magnifying glass, there's no fucking way you were going to see that motherfucking plaque. They should have called it the European Union fucking King's Dock Arena. The EU Arena. That's what they should have called it. They should have, instead of the carling academies around the country, it should be the EU academies. So every time you went to a gig and you kept the ticket, it had EU and it had the fucking circle on it. As if, listen, you leave the EU, you lose all this fucking cool shit. But they didn't do that. They went, oh, no, people will notice, people will notice. People don't notice. That's why advertising exists. Do you think that these big companies like Coca-Cola spend all this money on fucking advertising because they think that people are just going to notice Coca-Cola? They're going to know, it'll be fine. No, they'll notice. No, they need to spend money. Everyone knows the word Coca-Cola, but they still need to fucking advertise, even though it's the most common word in the English language around the world. After okay, it's Coca-Cola. Fucking hell. Do they have to? Yes, they still have to advertise. And meanwhile, we've got the government here going, oh, people will notice. People will fucking notice. Coca-Cola don't think that. They don't think someone's going to fucking notice. Oh, people just notice they'll just notice Coca-Cola, and they'll drink it, No, you got to say, oi, dickhead, oi, drink Coca-Cola. Go on, have some fucking Coca. Rot your teeth away. Yeah, go on. I've way too much sugar in a can. Go on, off your pop. Enjoy your Coke. Put your name on it. They do it in London. Mayor of London. Everything you see is Mayor of London. You go on the tube, Mayor of London. You see the new skate park, Mayor of London. You see the new Olympic Park, Mayor of London. The new extension on the underground, Mayor of London. Everything. Mayor of London on everything. Put your Labour government, given to you by your Labour government, gifted by your Labour government. Labour, making things work, making work. Making the Britain better, making Britain the best it could possibly be. Just go for it. Go for it. What is this shite with how many thick Brexiters live in areas that benefited from ERDF money? All of them. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Loads of people in Cornwall voted for leaving the EU. Loads of people. One of the most deprived areas. Now they're whinging about the fact that they don't, they're not being match funded by funds from the UK. Well, what's the fucking surprise in that? Okay, all right. Let's put it down to an analogy that RefUKers might understand, right? Okay, so what has a bigger prize? Is it the National Lottery or the Lotto, or is it Euro Millions, which is open to people all over Europe to play? What has a bigger pot? Yeah, what was that? Euro. Oh, why? Why would that be? Because more people fucking play it. More people playing into the pot means the prize fund is bigger. So when we got money from Europe, the world, the world was our oyster. We got 1.9 billion pounds, billion with a B, from the EU to rebuild our city centre, to the celebrations for the 800th anniversary of Liverpool and the 700th anniversary of Liverpool. Is it the 800th, wasn't it? Liverpool was 1307 or was it 1207? Liverpool founding date. Oh, it's got to give me the fucking football club here. City. 1207. That was 800 years. 800 years. So yeah, we celebrated our 800th anniversary in 2007, and then a year later we had the capital culture. Which was just fucking amazing, which we shared with Stavanger in Norway. I went to Stavanger to check it out. They have a sardine museum. So I can see how that, measures up with the Beatles. Someone's going. Viper Scott. See you later, Viper Scott. Thank you very much. Thank you. Labour need to show growth that reaches working class voters. They need to advertise. They need to make. Obviously, we need to use social media more, but they need to have like banners put up outside building your future. There's a housing project being built. That's going to have loads of starter homes, and it's fucking. We did this. Labour did this. And they need to restore trust in with the electorate. Avoid this amateurish fucking governance, these fucking U-turns. They need to communicate clearly and consistently. They need to make competence a contrast to chaos. They need to be honest about immigration. They need to make a positive case for immigration, acknowledge the public concern, but without scapegoat, and explain to people we need people to come from other countries and fucking celebrate it. Celebrate it massively, turn it into a fucking game show if you have to. Make a TV show where it's called Becoming British or something, and it's got these lovely people who are absolutely fucking lovely from all over the fucking world. And they're coming here, and it's not for like one place. But the process of them learning English and overcoming personal making achievements of themselves. And at the end of it, they get fucking citizenship. Put it on telly. Make people fall in love with them. Make people go, oh, these people are fucking lovely. You can. I'm not saying to manipulate it, but fucking manipulate it. Go for it. Go for fucking broke. Yeah, we need to emphasize that fairness more than anything, because one of the drivers of the big RefUK vote is people feel like life is unfair. They feel like these people who are coming across in small boats are getting things that they're not getting. They don't have a house. They don't have a job. They don't have a gold-plated fucking Rolex watch and a magic phone or something that we're supposed to get if people arrive in the country. They don't have that, and they feel bitter about it. So make people feel fair. Make it feel fair, and be clear about it, and be clear about how it all fucking works. And gum up the processes that allow bullshit to fester on the internet for people to be able to read it. Gum up the processes for the printers, printing these fucking newspapers, pumping out lies every day. Reclaim the narrative. Frame the rule of law as strength. The European Convention of Human Rights is a British drafted post-war settlement. Human rights and protection for everyone, not just asylum seekers who have committed a fucking crime. That show. We could go on about the consequences of withdrawal, but make a positive case now. Another thing the Remain people fucked up with on the run up to the Brexit referendum, it was all about doom and fucking gloom. Make a positive case for the EU. It's fucking great. You can live and work in all these other fucking countries. You can marry someone from any of these countries. Have a fucking beauty contest. We have the best looking men and women from across the fucking continent. Make it a game show. People love a fucking game show. And they say, oh, where are you from? We learn a little bit about where they're from. And they go, okay, well, there's this British woman who wants to get married, or there's a British man who, wants to hook up. I mean, just... There's so much stuff you can do. And just get people to just go along with it. Love Island Europe, your Euro edition, where everyone's from a different country in Europe. Throw them in the beautiful people from all over Europe. Throw them in, put them on an island, get them to hook up. Great. People fucking watch that. And it'll be like, oh, these Germans aren't too bad. These Romanians aren't too bad. These Italians aren't too bad. These Greek people seem very lovely. Actually, I thought they were all really sexually aggressive and horrible, but it turns out that this guy's really nice. We need to have a focus on jobs, on wages, on productivity. We need economic patriotism, and we need to explain that part of being a patriot is defending our economy, which is what Nigel Farage doesn't want to do. We want to spend billions of our pounds, taxpayers' money, rounding up people who are working and sending them off to somewhere else to damage our economy and cost the taxpayer fucking billions in the fucking process. We need to shift the debate from the culture war. We need to move it away from that. And there are ways of doing it. We need to expose the costs of reform fucking policies. Like I said, it's going to cost billions. The detention expansion cost, the administrative burden of 288,000 fucking deportations every year, the impact on the labour market, the logistical realities of 5 flights a fucking day, the scale mismatch with the current infrastructure. The infrastructure you would have to build would be on a par with the Germans in the 1930s building the fucking concentration camps, building the ghettos, which then became the concentration, moved into the concentration camps. I know. I mean, the business community speaking out against the labour market disruption. The business community fucked me off because we had this leader in our country, right, who said out loud, fuck business, and they went, okay. And they bent over and lubed their asses up. And I was like, what the fuck? Why aren't these businesses speaking out? And it's because our businesses are owned by the same fucking privately educated Nepo babies that went to school with Boris Johnson and Eton and Harrow and Winchester and Westminster. B-Dales. These motherfuckers, they all went to school together and they don't care. They live in fucking Dubai or in Singapore. They don't care. This is why we were like screaming and we're going, why is the head of Dyson supporting Brexit? Why is the head of JCB supporting fucking Brexit? I'll tell you why they're supporting Brexit. Because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about the politics of this country. They just want to drive the people of this country. They want to drive us down into the dirt. P&O, what did it do as soon as we were out of the EU? It sacked every British worker working on some of their ferries. They're all sacked, and then they rehired people from the EU. You couldn't stop them doing it. Cheaper. We need faith groups opposing religious discrimination. We need the Archbishop of Canterbury and all of their friends saying, listen, mate, if there's a beautiful old building and someone wants to look after it and it wants to be turned into a place of worship, it's either that or a big gay Turkish bath, okay? They're your options. Give big gay Turkish bath disco. They're your two options. What do you want? Do you want a mosque or do you want that? There you go. That'll make me happy. We got that legal community needs to be explaining the constitutional implications. You can't just leave it to the Good Law Project. We need police leaders warning about community relation impacts. Imagine like a police leader doing a press conference going, listen, if these fucking clowns get in, they're going to fuck us and they're going to fuck our ability to police communities, because they're going to turn everyone against us because they want to turn the police into what the police are in America, which is like they see civilians as the enemy. It's one of the most militarized police states in the world is America. It's not Iran, it's America. I mean, Iran is as well, but, compared with America, Jesus Christ. And we need to have tactical voting in marginals. And if that means saying to people, you're going to have to hold your nose and vote Labour, hold your nose and vote fucking Labour. That's it. Labour won the last fucking election just 18 months ago with a 50% majority in Gorton and Denton. I think voting for Greens is fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to upset some people watching this and be like, fuck off, Graham. Starmer's been a cunt. I know. But we need to keep RefUK out. And yeah, maybe a vastly reduced majority, but, and instead of having 50% of the vote, they only get 35% of the vote, which would be enough of a shot across the bow. But this is important, right? This is really important. And it informs going into the next election. If we have tactical voting sites saying vote for the Greens, and the Greens come in third, and the Greens have said that they're the only people who can possibly beat reform, that's what they've told people in Gorton and Denton, which is no new line, but if they say that to people, it damages the Greens, because people will go, oh, actually, they lied about that in Gorton and Denton, right? So that's a high-risk strategy. And also, and I know I was discussing this with Phil the other day, but I do believe that if this was a done deal, if the Greens thought they were absolutely on to a winner here, Zach Polanski would have stood, so he could become an MP, which would make sense because he is the leader of the party, but he's not in Parliament. If you're a Lib Dem, you can only be leader if you are an MP. So yeah, I and also the tactical vote sites that say vote Green, if they're wrong, this could be really damaging. I really think they should also be saying vote with your heart on this one. We just don't know. There's just not enough polling. And yeah, a lot of people's hearts have been turned against Labour, which I completely understand. But at the same time, these RefUK fuckers are going to fuck us all really fucking badly. We need, and also, on behalf of Labour, they need to do better. As I said, straight out the bat, they're the central fucking role in all this. They need to do better, but at the same time, they do better, and the Greens need not to go after constituencies that they can't possibly win. We need strong local candidates who have got credibility. We need direct engagement in towns where reform are doing well, like here in Durham at the moment. And we need to avoid dismissing voters as stupid, which is difficult for me. And this is why I can't do this, because it's not my wheelhouse. No, I'm not a community outreach type person. I'm I'm not passively aggressive. I'm massively aggressive. Just like tell them to fuck off. But yeah, it's really important that we have these conversations, because reform's policy is not just simply tighter border control. It's fucking our economy. It's fucking the future for our children and our grandchildren. They want to combine mass enforcement, expansion, human rights withdrawal, cultural national identity policy, fertility monitoring, moralizing, institutional power centralization, taking power from the courts, taking power from the judges, taking power from Parliament, and taking it all for themselves. Stopping them requires competent government from Labour, which they haven't been doing so great at. So please, Labour, sort your shit out. They need viable economic delivery by Labour, honest immigration reform, and a positive case to be made for immigration, which isn't being made by Labour at the moment for some fucking reason. They need to stop going after trans people. Labour need to stop going after trans people, because some of the people who are would be very active for pushing for Labour to do well in these elections are being very, very much put off because they've got a trans friend or two, or three, or four, or lots. I don't know. But if you're a trans ally, or you've got trans friends, or you're trans yourself, it's very unlikely that you're going to help Labour out at the moment, because Labour aren't helping you out. Or your friends. And so we also need to have a stalwart defense of democratic institutions, a strong defense. We need to rebuild trust in politics before grievance fills that space. And we are fighting a losing battle if we are going up against the bloody tabloids every day that just seem to get away with absolute murder on the front page, because they just lie. They just make up any old shit and throw it at you. But we need to go over to the papers now, because I'm really worried. I've been talking now for an hour and 42 minutes, and I do realise that you may have forgotten what the royal family look like. So we need to go over there immediately, without any further ado, and show you. There's Kate there. That's what she looks like. That's Princess Kate at the Oscars, the British Oscars, known as the BAFTAs. Kate William says he's not in a calm state amid Andrew arrest drama. Prince William last night admitted he's not in a calm state as the extraordinary Andrew drama engulfs the royal family. And there's Jessie Buckley there, quite rightly winning the Best Actress Oscar. British Oscar, the BAFTA for Best Actress. Absolutely phenomenal in her role is Agnes Hathaway, the wife of William Shakespeare in the film of the book, Hamnet, which I saw at the Toronto International Film Festival last September, and it is very, very, very good. Starmer says, my brother's struggle inspired special needs reform. Sir Keir Starmer's late brother's struggle to be seen in the classroom has inspired one of the most sweeping overhaul of special educational needs in a generation, the Prime Minister said. Listen, as I said the other day, I do welcome this, as someone who has relationships or knows or has, is related to people who've required special educational needs over the years or even right now. I'm all for this. I do think that this needs to be changed, but for fuck's sake, Labour, this time, please listen to me. Come here. Listen to me. Listen. Talk to the fucking experts, right? Talk to the kids who are getting special education needs. Talk to their parents, right? Listen, dickheads, come here. Talk to the educational psychologists who work in the schools. Talk to them before announcing what you're going to do. fucking talk to them. Find out all the problems, all the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats. Work it all out before you fucking announce something and then are forced to dial back on it a couple of months later. Okay, please, for the love of God, just this once, please do your fucking homework. Sorry for shouting. Just get very emotional about this. AI revolution will create a clean energy conundrum. The data centers need the power. The government's AI revolution would use more electricity than the country's consumes at its peak. Yeah, so let's not do it because it's fucking useless. It's a helpful little robot that gets everything wrong. AI is shit. Evidence of Epstein's. I keep saying Einstein instead of Epstein. It's a bit of a slur, isn't it? Sorry, Einstein. Evidence of Epstein's UK flights destroyed. Blow to trafficking investigation at RAF bases. The Metropolitan Police have begun re-examining trafficking allegations related to Jeffrey Epstein 3 months ago, but detectives are been told some of the evidence has been destroyed. And on the front cover of the Daily Telegraph here, we have I had a heart attack at 24. Paramedics thought I was drunk. Okay, and she looks quite posh, doesn't she? Does she look quite posh to you? I don't know. Telegraph. Let's read up a little bit about this story. Telegraph. Heart attack. 24. There we go. Paramedics cycling through. The paramedics thought I was drunk. Faye Greenwood. She's a fashion and lifestyle content creator in East Sussex. Faye Greenwood. Okay, she had a heart attack, very young. This is sad, you know. I'm sad about that. Let's have a look. Yep. Priory? No. Faye Greenwood, student at University of Nottingham. I don't know if this is her. Is this her? Might be her. I don't know. Schools. No, nothing's coming up at University of Nottingham. Sorry, I can't check out whether she managed to get on the front page of a newspaper just because she went to a posh school. But, you know, probably. Talking to people who went to posh schools, there's Amy Lou Wood there on the front cover of the Daily Telegraph, privately educated, of course. And then we have the Queen, and coming out of her head, Prince Andrew, both privately educated. And then you've got Princess Kate, privately educated as well. So there you go. And then we've got the rugby team, who probably went to private school as well. Epstein's secret files hidden across the US. Paedophile rented storage units to prevent authorities seizing material on computers. The plot thickens, even though the DOJ in America and the FBI have said, "Oh, there's nothing more to say here. That's it. We've released everything now, except for those files on the years that he was busy mates with Donald Trump. We didn't release any of that from 1999 to 2001. Who knows what he did? Probably just went on holiday for a couple of years, did nothing, sat on the beach somewhere doing nothing. Britain faces £1 billion bill if Chagos deal collapses. That's not good. Streeting must be sacked to reset government, allies tell Starmer. We've also got visa bans for Pakistan. Sorry, visa ban for Pakistan. Sorry, this is in the small text at the bottom here. Just make that go down. We've got Tim Stanley there, privately educated, of course. He's on the front cover of a newspaper. And he hasn't killed anyone. It's funny, that, isn't it? Anyway, we get to go on the front cover of a newspaper if you fucking kill someone. Reform plans visa ban for Pakistan. Reform UK has pledged to impose a visa ban on Pakistan and 5 other countries with a high Muslim population that refuse to take back deported illegal immigrants and criminals. So there you go. Zia Yusuf there, the party's newly appointed shadow Home Secretary, saying that they're going to ban people coming from Pakistan, which is going to be music to the ears of racists everywhere. Next up, we've got the news there with Putnam. Social media firms can't deny harms. Armed man shot dead at Mar-a-Lago. Another person trying to have a pop at Trump, I think. And then we've got Britain is biggest losers from Trump's tariffs. Britain is facing the biggest increase in US tariffs under Donald Trump's sweeping new levies. An analysis by Global Trade Alert found that the UK faced an effective 2.1 percentage point increase in its tariff bill as a result of Mr. Trump's new 15% global baseline. But if we hadn't Brexited, then it would have been better. Should we have all the Brexiters who were saying, "Oh well, if we'd stayed in the EU, we would have had we would have had a 15% tariff rate. We've only got 10%. Yay, Brexit. Can we get all them back on the TV now, please? Come on the TV, all of you. Go line up in a line like a bunch of dicks. Stand there, arms behind your back. Like this, right? Hands behind your back. And I want you to say, I'm very sorry, I'm a dickhead. There you go. Go and say that. Say that. Go on. I've got a little thing. It says, I was wrong and I accept responsibility. We can make it a TV show. We can get Cilla Black. We'll bring her back from the dead. And she can go, surprise, surprise. And bring them all out on the stage. And they can all give the thumbs up and it'll all be great. As they apologise for saying that if we hadn't left the EU, we would have done much worse in our tariffs. PM agreed system that lets child sex suspects off with a warning. And it's not child sex, it's child rape. Keir Starmer oversaw the use of paedophile ASBOs that let suspects off without warning. With warning. Our investigation found documents from his time as top prosecutor showing he was drafting and agreeing notices with police chiefs. An ASBO for paedophiles, and spoke of seeing officers using them to make investigations go away. Well, that's not good, is it? And in case you forgot what Kate looks like, there she is again, holding hands with her husband, who's the future king of Britain, but doesn't have any hair. And over here we have exactly the same picture, saying, William, I need to calm down, in case you forgot what they look like. And Robert Aramayo, he won the Best Actor Award for I Swear, which sounds like a bloody good laugh, actually. I do like the idea of I Swear. I haven't seen it, but Mike Dix has, and he recommends it wholeheartedly. Morning, guys. Fuck refuck, says Jamie. Absolutely, Jamie. Couldn't agree more. If the rumours that Prince William can't read are true, it says a lot about the quality of education in private schools. After all, the teachers don't need to be qualified. Yep. We just be thank you very much for that, Ms. Paula Thomas, the super chat there. And then we've got the best ever medal haul for Team GB on the right here. We've got Emily Mateless. Why do we know so little about Andrew's settlement with Epstein accuser Virginia Giuffre? And we've got British actors shock BAFTA win over DiCaprio and Shyamalan. And then we've got Number 10, fast-tracking security vetting for Mandelson despite knowing links to Epstein. Lord Mandelson was given clearance to view top-secret material within weeks of being appointed as ambassador to the US, which isn't great. There's an interview with Jelaine Pellico, who has got a book out about her ordeal at the hands of her husband and at least 50 other men. He was loved by everyone. That's what's so terrifying. Team GB hail most successful ever Winter Olympics. Ministers reveal £4 billion package to support pupils with special needs. Absolutely fantastic news there. Calls for inquiry into Andrew's Epstein ties. Absolutely. Intruder shot dead at Trump residence. And there we have the lovely Jessie Buckley winning the Best Actress BAFTA for Hamnet. Jessie Buckley, a proper actor, grew up in Ireland, and she's phenomenal. If you want to watch a movie that is streaming at the moment, what was it called? Filthy Little Letters. Oh, I forgot what it's called now. Bloody hell! Is it Dirty Little Letters or Filthy Little Letters? I'm getting the word. Wicked. That's the word. Wicked Little Letters. With Jessie Buckley and Olivia Colman. Well worth watching. And I Swear is worth a watch. Yeah, I Swear is a great film. Yeah, I definitely Mr. Tisk and blah blah CW. Yeah, I am going to watch that at some point. I've seen Hamnet. Catherine doesn't want to watch it because if you don't know what happens, I don't want to. Is this a spoiler? Is this a full 100-year-old spoiler? Basically, it tells the story. Close your ears if you don't want to know what the story is, but it's the story of Shakespeare's private life and how he fell in love with Anne Hathaway, or Agnes as she's called in this, and they get married and they have a few kids and their little boy dies. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who might not want to watch that because it is quite, it's sad. It's sad, but it's very cathartic at the end. And although some usually male reviewers at the time said, "Oh, it's manipulative. They're manipulating us into crying." Oh, fuck off! It's sad. No, they're manipulating us with music. And I'm like, And that's what movies do. That's the whole point of a movie. Do The Exorcist. Mark, come here. You know, The Exorcist, right? It was manipulating you into being scared. Yeah. It was like Forrest Gump was manipulating you into liking Forrest, even though he's a fucking dickhead. Intruder shot dead at Trump residence. Oh well. And then we've got the FT next. We've got Metro first. Access all areas. Cops can see my files. Val's King as email says whistleblower told of brothers Moneyman after an Andrew arrest rocks the monarchy there. And then Flying Zoe seals record medal haul. Fun Winter Olympics that was. I know that I sort of make fun of it a little bit as, you know, the Olympics for Nepo babies. But, I mean, you know, it was quite fun. Fun. And you know what? Life needs to be more fun, I think, especially in this day and age. Right, moving on. Tariff tide. China emerges as big winner. There we have the story there. The Donald Trump's new 15% global tariff will most greatly benefit countries he has singled out for heavy criticism, including China and Brazil. It's a clever man. There's a cargo ship there unloading containers at Qingdao in Shandong province in China. I've been to Qingdao. Qingdao has the Qingdao beer, which is spelled differently, but it's from there. And it was a German guy who moved to Qingdao many moons ago, and he set up his own brewery, and now it's one of the most drank beers in the whole of China. Qingdao beer. It's cool. And then we've got Tehran in secret deal with Kremlin for 500 million euros of advanced missile kit. I've also been to Tehran. I'm just saying. I'm not showing off. You know, here's my book. Oh, hang on. There's my book. Where's my book? Oh no! What's happened? I've lost me. There you go. Shut up, Graham. Okay. Bumper earnings and AI jitters drive extreme churn in US equities market. A bumper earnings season and concerns about fallout from the AI boom are driving extreme moves in individual US stocks, even as the broad market index treads water. And then we've got Reform and Greens collect discarded Labour votes. Thursday's by-election in Gorton and Denton will be instrumental for Labour. Manchester streets that once solidly backed the party now contain mixtures of the main rivals' posters and a sign that Sir Keir Starmer's vote is fracturing in both directions, which I think it is. But, I mean, all things being equal, if Labour do lose, I'm not going to blame the Greens as much as I'm going to blame Labour. As simple as that. Yeah. Your mileage may vary. God, I need a shave. Look at me, I need a shave. Just looking at myself on the monitor. I'll have a shave later today. I look all trim. And sexy for my 47th birthday. Okay, so sorry about that. Hello. We've got the briefing here, which is almost unreadable because it's so low res, but call to screen all toddlers for signs of lead poisoning. Wow. Virgin Atlantic targets BA. Hague feeling lucky. Former Tory leader Lord William Hague says Britons in their 60s are the luckiest generation in history. Yes. Breitling value slashed. The Swiss watchmakers' private equity owners have reduced the valuation of the company. Banker sleep case settled. Dimon eyes $2 billion a week. This is JP Morgan boss Jamie Dimon will seek to persuade investors that huge spending is needed to drive the bank's growth. We've got Hungary halts sanctions and Lviv hit linked to Russia. Ukrainian authorities are probing a terrorist attack in the city of Lviv. I've been there as well, which killed one person and left at least 25 injured. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it was probably the Russians. I mean, it's usually the Russians. And then finally, we have a picture of, oh my God, what is happening here? I'm getting adverts, so I'm trying to get rid of the adverts off the page so you don't have to look at them. We've got Jessie Buckley looking delectable there. She look lovely. The Irish Star won the Best Leading Actress for a role in Hamnet, which also won the Outstanding British Film Awards, which is fantastic. And well done. Revealed the new way stalkers tailing victims. Charities say cyber stalking with cheap AirTags, GPS trackers and apps originally designed for parental control, has led to a surge in crimes, with some victims being forced to flee their homes and change jobs. Apple AirTags and small GPS tracking devices are being weaponized by stalkers, fueling a surge in cases while leaving their victims in fear for their lives, which is really fucking grim. We need to make stalking like a serious, serious fucking offense. You know, none of these 9-month sentences. It needs to be 9 fucking. It needs to be 20 fucking years. It needs to just be like that. That's it. You can't do that to another human being. The level of stress that these stalkers cause when they do what they do is beyond. It's beyond measure. It's beyond measure. And if we're talking about, we have a criminal code to reduce harm in society, stalkers are one of the main, big source of harm. If you can't sleep content, happy, feeling safe in your own bed, then the government is failing. The social contract is failing. And we need to come down on this stuff like a ton of bricks. Something I thought with the Pelico case, there's been other cases, like there was a chat group of 70,000 men talking about raping women, and there was a case of a former Tory councillor who did something very similar to what happened to Giselle Pellico, and that maybe the answer here is setting up these forums online like they do with people who are looking for an assassin, and get them to turn up, get them to say what they want to do, and then fucking arrest the motherfuckers. Bit of chemical castration. Graham, Reagan Elite, says Martin Harrow. Oh, cool. Martin, this is difficult because Reagan Elite, well, last time I tried to do this, Reagan Elite's got like about 17 different live things that come up, and it doesn't give you the date, so you just don't know which one to get people to join. So I will try and throw you over that way when I finish. But give me a moment. This is going to be fun, isn't it? You can watch me do my you can watch me changing the settings on my show here. Oh God, why do they make it so difficult? Redirect. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 different videos that have come up for upcoming shows of Reagan Elite. I don't know which is the one to click on. Just give me a second. I'll try and find it. It's not in order, is it? No. Why would it be? Okay, that one. I'm going to go for that one. If it's the wrong one, I'm sorry. But there you go. I'll dump you all over onto Reagan Elite's channel. Say hello from me. But before I go, I just want to say we've got 2 more super chats, and then we can have another round of confetti for Diz. Not just because it's, my birthday's coming up, but also Diz likes the confetti. So there you go. And that's absolutely the case. I very much see myself as an oddity, says Bolskov. Oh, we all see ourselves as oddities, my friend. You can defeat reform by taking control of the news cycle. Jamie Dimon is pronounced Diamond, is a good mate of Epstein. Why is it pronounced Diamond? It looks like Dimon to me. I don't know. I don't know how things are pronounced. My partner started a career in a private school, now an academy. She introduced phonics and was very successful in spite of objections from the head of early years. Yeah, didn't Philip Pullman says you can tell a lot about a person by their attitude to phonics. And AI may tell us how to go green. Humans have been saying it for years. Like, they'll listen to AI. And I mean, we could go more green by just not doing the whole AI thing. But I mean, the processing that's required for like a video, AI slot video, is a lot more than the processing required for it to just give notes on a meeting of doing the minutes for a meeting or giving you a breakdown of a document. It's a lot less processing time. Stop the stupid videos. They look shit anyway. How to stop RefUK. 1, keep pointing out murky finances. 2, recycled Tories and austerity. 3, proximity to mad Trump ideas. 4, getting to defend what's happening in RefUK councils. 5, Brexit benefits. Yeah. Saragon, I absolutely 100% agree. Right. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that then. We'll leave it at that because it's 11 o'clock and I'm fucking hungry. I'm not had any breakfast. Go and have some breakfast, Graham. Okay. I'll leave you on the fact that someone said Kid Rock would be a good name for Epstein's Island. Until next time, I'll see you very soon. I'll see you, I don't know, when will I see you? See you later today. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tonight, okay? Should we do that together? We'll do Stateside. If Scott's about, we'll do an episode of Stateside, so look out for that. And if not, I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9 o'clock. I'm going to leave you in the safe, capable hands of Reagan Elite. I'm going to go and watch his channel. And if you want to let him know that I shunted everyone over to old Reagan, you are you're very welcome to do that if you so wish. But in the meantime, let me just say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being awesome. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for triggering the confetti. And gives a like on the way out. Please lick the like on the way out. And until next time, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.